It's first down, Giants, close to the Eagle 48-yard line. McNeil is to the left this time. Tarkenton, great pressure from Rosevich, unloads to Fredrickson. And Tucker fumbles. And it's recovered by Herman inside the 20-yard line.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you could maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time any day to check out this video. Thank you. Woo, huh? Wow. I mean, man, seriously, I don't know whether to just laugh or cry. I mean, it's just so ungodly, unbelievable. It's just horrible, absolutely horrible. I mean, all you can say is just thankfully the season's over with. I mean, in a way, it's a shame because all that building up and all of that and everything like that, you got the season to look forward to and all that, and these 17 games, it's like, we started the season off 0-3. We finished the season 0-6. But in the middle, we had 8 games there. We were 4-4. But other than that, wow. Giants set a new record. A couple of them, unfortunately. Joe Judge is the first coach to have 13 losses in a season. So congratulations, Joe Judge. I'm sure Jason the Clapper is out there doing that. Jason Garrett. Congratulations, Joe Judge. 13 losses. Also, the Giants now have lost 6 consecutive games in a row in a season by double digits. That's the first time that's ever happened. It's happened five games in a row, double digits. It's happened 4 times, but this is the first time they've got 6 games in a row that they've lost double digits. Yeah. It's a 12 straight game. I mean, there's a bunch of pathetic, absolutely unbelievable things, but this is one 12 straight game where they've had under 320 yards of total offense. 12 straight game. They had 177 yards of total offense today. This is the 3rd game in a row, right? They've had under 200 yards of offense. Last 3 games, they haven't even got 200 yards. I mean, you just look at like the halftime stats of this game. Giants had 2 first downs. They had 10 yards passing. They had 0 points. I think they had 48 total yards at halftime. Oh my God. Absolutely unbelievable. They've scored 79 points in the last 8 games. They're averaging, basically the last half of the season, they're averaging 10 points a game. They averaged for the whole season, they've averaged 15.1 points per game. We thought 17.5 was unbelievably pathetic, which it was. This is 15.1. So we've gone down to like 2.5 points per game. 15.1 points per game in 2021. Wow. That is so absolutely horrible. And then the defensive magic just continues to happen. This is the 13th out of 17 game this season that the Giants gave up points in the final 2 minutes of the first half. The Giants were outscored 79-0 in the final 2 minutes of the first half of the season. They've given up 8 touchdowns, gave up 7 field goals, and 1 safety. Yesterday, the game against Washington football team, it was 3-0, right? And of course, Washington gets the ball under 2 minutes, and you can just bet your life, bet everything. Just go to Vegas and just whatever you've made, just throw it all in the middle of the table. Your 401k, everything. Lives of your children, everything. Your house, everything. Just put it in the middle. Washington just walks down the field. Didn't get a touchdown, but it kicked the field goal. It's absolutely amazing how we didn't score 1 point in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Not 1 point. I mean, you can't score a point unless it's an extra point. But I mean, didn't get a safety, didn't get a field goal, touchdown, absolutely nothing in 17 games. Out of that, we gave up. We 13 out of 17 games. We gave up scores in the final 2 minutes. Unbelievable. The Giants, they couldn't run. They couldn't really run the ball. Fromm had 5 rushes for 53 yards, so that was nice. I mean, when it wasn't nothing available, he just took the ball and he took off. And, I mean, he's not Michael Vick. Maybe he's not Daniel Jones, but he got 53 yards on 5 rushes. I mean, the last one was kind of like, as the time was almost kind of, I was right toward the end of the game. When the game was over, he got a nice chunk of yards. But, still, he took off and ran with it. But, I mean, other than his 5 carries for 53 yards, the Giants ran the ball 20 times for 41 yards. 2 yards a carry. 2 yards a carry we got. We couldn't run the ball, and then, of course, you can't run the ball, so you have to balance that out by not being able to stop the run. So, and they did very, very well. They didn't run, and they couldn't stop the run. So, I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit there. I mean, the Redskins, ran the ball 37 times for 226 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. Just absolutely pathetic. Absolutely, unbelievably pathetic. Antonio Gibson had a phenomenal day. 21 carries, 146 yards. He averaged only 7 yards a carry. That's all. Nothing crazy. DeAndre Carter had 1 carry for 11 yards, so he only averaged 11 yards a carry. Jonathan Williams, a good game. 7 carries, but 45 yards. He averaged only 6.4 yards per carry. Okay. And then, Jared Patterson, but he had 6 carries for 21 yards, so he averaged 3.5 yards a carry. But I mean, who cares? I mean, they had 37 carries for 226 yards. And it wasn't like, that one of them was like an 80-yard run or something like that. No. I mean, they just chewed up chunks of yards, almost every time they got the ball. I mean, really, really sad. Taylor Heineke, he only completed 9 passes the whole game for 99 yards after the sacks were taken away. He didn't have 100 yards passing. So we were able, I mean, he the other time he killed us with the pass. We couldn't stop. All of a sudden, once he started getting going, boy, he looked like better than we made him look better than Tom Brady the first time when we played him, the second game of the season. I mean, he was better than Tom Brady. He was unbelievable. He was just bam, 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 bam. I remember the Giants scored, and I think he had like a 3-play drive right after that, 3 completed passes, I think a touchdown. I mean, just couldn't stop him. Now, this time he didn't have to pass because we couldn't stop the run. The defense got 0 turnovers. In a game like this, the turnovers were huge in a game like this, right? The last 4 out of 6 games, the Giants' defense has not got a turnover. They started off really well. The first 11 games of the season, they had at least 1 turnover in the first 11 games, which is huge. But, the last, 4 out of the last 6, they haven't gotten a turnover. Now, turnovers in this game, the Giants had 3. One of them was on the last play of the game, so I mean, or second to last play of the game. So, yeah. However, the one fumble, right, was led to a field goal. Then, of course, the pick 6. They went for 2, so they only got 6 points. But I mean, the thing is, with the turnovers, it gave Washington 9 points. They only scored 22. So basically, their offense produced 13 points. Now, if our defense could have came out with a couple turnovers, I mean, I'm saying it is what it is. Washington won the game and all that stuff. I'm saying if we didn't have the turnovers, the pick 6, and if we were able to block because fumbled the ball because he got hit trying to throw a pass. His arm got hit. Fumbled the ball. But I mean, eliminate the turnovers, and if the defense could have produced a couple turnovers, I said, we basically offense for offense, we lost this game 13-7. The defense could have produced a couple turnovers. Might have been a little bit of different of a game. The Giants so far this season have had the season's over. The Giants, I believe, had 30 turnovers. They had 20 interceptions and 10 fumbles. They lost. The Giants defense got 22, so they were -8 for the season. I mean, obviously, being 4-13, you figured it'd be worse than -8. -8 is not great by any stretch of imagination, but they were -8 for the season. I think they're the worst team in the red zone, and once again, this game they were 0 for 1 once again in the red zone. Washington, as I said, the Washington football team had the pick six from Fromm. The fumble from Fromm gave them 3 points. So they had 9 points. They got 9 points over the turnovers. On the defensive side, right? Jay Crowder had another good game, 12 tackles. I mean, a lot of it. Some of it just seems like it's maybe he's making too many tackles, if you know what I mean. It seems like he's making them because when they're running the ball, they're getting past the defensive front because when they're clogging up the middle and all of that is, because they got well over 200 yards rushing. So maybe Tay Crowder was making maybe too many tackles, unfortunately. But he had a good game. I don't know what he graded out at. I'll find that out tonight when I look at PFF. But he had 12 tackles. Lorenzo Carter had 10 tackles and a sack. He had 5 sacks in the last 4 games. Of course, he had 0 sacks in the first 13 games. Kind of makes you wonder where he was at the first 13 games of the season. You know what I mean? Did it get to be where it's like, well, I played 13 games. I only got 4 games left. You know what? They're going to cut me because they can't afford to sign me. So I'm going to want somebody out there to write me a nice big fat check for a contract. So I better start playing and get some sacks here. I mean, is you seriously? You got 5 sacks in the last 4 games. The first 13 games of the season, you couldn't get a sack. Are you freaking serious? Wow. But he got a sack. So congratulations to him. If the Giants do or can wind up re-signing him, it'd be interesting to see once he gets paid if he starts producing again. All of a sudden 5 sacks in 4 games. Where was that at the past few years? You know what I mean? Seriously. All of a sudden, you're Superman. Xavier McKinney, he had a good game, 8 tackles. He almost had an interception. Would have been nice if he could have held on to that one. Logan Ryan had 7 tackles. Jalen Smith was in there for 5. Logan Ryan had a sack. Leonard Williams had a sack. So you got to give Leonard Williams some credit. He had 77 tackles from what I saw online for the season. That's the most ever tackles. Of course, he played 1 extra game, but by far, that's the most tackles he's ever had in a season. I think he had like 5.5 sacks. So, the dude's been playing hurt. The dude does not miss any games. Now, we can argue till we're blue in the face if he's worth 21, 22, 23 million, whatever it is, but you got to give the man a lot of credit. Even as crappy as we were, every week the man came to play, and he played. He played hurt. And, a lot of tackles this year. Didn't get the 11 sacks like he had last year, but, he did a good job. So, Leonard Williams, thank you, brother. One of the few bright spots this year. On the offense, it wasn't much to cheer about. Jake Fromm was 15 out of 31. Grand total of 103 yards. He had 1 touchdown pass. Darius Slayton was nice. He was kind of wide open in the end zone there, so it was nice that he saw him and he hit him. Gave the Giant fans a little something to cheer about. He had the 2 interceptions. 1 was a pick 6. So, but then he ran 5 times for 53 yards. So when there was nothing there, 5 times he pulled it down and took off. Right. Oh my God, the quarterback sneak. What? What the? Are you freaking? When I saw it, I was like almost jumped out of my chair. I'm like, yeah, we won, yeah. I thought it was like the victory formation there for a second. Then I had to slap myself silly a little bit. And I'm like, no, Jeff, there's like 5 minutes left to go in the first half. There's still second quarter. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not the victory formation. I'm like, what's going on here? 3rd down and 9 from, I think, your own 4-yard line, and your quarterback sneaking for a yard. Yeah. Wow. What that should have been called, the victory at the Miracle at the Meadowlands play. That's what Joe Pisarcik should have ran when they had when they're playing Eagles in the 1978 season when they fumbled the ball. Herm Edwards picked it up, ran back for a touchdown, and Miracle at the Meadowlands won. That's what they should have called that. Go and you quarterback sneaky, you got guys blocking for you, guys protecting, all that. That's what they should have done. But I'll tell you what, boy, everybody was making fun of him. Oh my God, everybody was making so much fun of him. The amount of boos that were cascading down out of the stands were unbelievable. You should just see some of the fans were just yelling and screaming and booing and all that after they seen it. Everybody everybody. Dan Orlovsky was making fun of it. Everybody. Moose Johnson calling the game made fun of it. He's like, I can't believe it. You run a quarterback sneak from your own 4-yard line, 3rd down and 9. You run a quarterback sneak for a yard. I mean, everybody was chewing him up and spitting him out. Unbelievably. Now, Mr. Mara, I'm sure, just watching the game and the lack of fans and the lack of fan support and all, and the joke of a game on the field and all that, he had to be embarrassed. But when he saw that, he had to really, really be embarrassed. I'll bet you. He's really, really pissed off. Kind of reminds me a little bit. So when you saw Joe Judge walking off the field at the end of the game, kind of that little dead man walking kind of look to him. I mean, little history for you. 1973, Alex Webster, he had resigned the week before, right? But the Giants, 1973, started off 1-0-1. The last 12 games, they finished 1-11. The last 12 games, they finished 2-11-1. He resigned the week before, 1973, the second to last game of the season. He's like, I can't turn this around or whatever it is. If I can't make these guys a winner, I don't want to be a part of it. Or like that. So he resigned. So the last game of the season, they played in the Yale Bowl. It was in the snow. And they were playing the Minnesota Vikings. They lost 31-7. And when he was walking off the field at the end of the game, it wasn't so much a dead man walking because he had resigned already. But, he walked off the field. We won 1 out of the last 12 games. Total embarrassment. He walked off the field and off into the sunset. 1978, John McVay. We had lost, I think, 7 out of the last 8 games. The last game of the season we lost in Philly 20-3. I moved from Long Island to South Jersey in 1977. So in 1978, that Eagle game was on because any Eagle home game was on TV. So unfortunately, I had to watch it. So the last game of the season was 20-3. We lost. We got embarrassed. It was sad. All that pathetic and everything like that. And so he was walking off the field. I think I remember him shaking Dick Vermeil's hand, but he's walking off the field. I'm like, dead man walking. And hell yeah. You lose 7 of the last 8. We had a horrible season that year. He just wasn't turning things around. The first half of the season, we weren't too bad, but to lose 7 of your last 8, we just looked really, really sad. Dead man walking the next year. George Young came in, clean house, and we got Ray Perkins in there. Might be kind of the same thing here. Mr. Mara is, he knows he's embarrassed. He's more embarrassed than anybody. You think you're pissed off, I'm pissed off, everybody's pissed off. Well, he's embarrassed and we're embarrassed too. But he's embarrassed and pissed off. So don't worry about it. Things are going to happen. Vic Fangio already got canned by the Broncos. So just had a little something. Just looking at the way we ended the season, 6 straight losses, all by double digits. We had no answer to anything. The offense was just a total, absolute, 100% freaking joke. That quarterback sneak thing on 3rd down and 9 from our own 4 was just like, the tip of the iceberg. It seemed like everything else is just an absolute total joke. The fans just booing. The lack of support, everything. It just seems like, when he was walking off the field there, right? After he got done shaking Ron Rivera's hand, and just walking off the field, it just had a little taste of dead man walking. And you saw him walking off the field, and there's a good possibility that might be the last time he ever walks off the field for the New York Giants. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time any day to check out the video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!